Okay, everybody. Hey, how are you guys? I am live tonight with, my dear friend Jake Urban, who has had quite a week. And so he's going to share a little bit about his story with you guys. I will tell you his mom is sitting there with him as well. And she's a very dear friend of mine. And Jake, she started talking to me when you started coming down with the symptoms. So I'm not going to go through the story because I know you have your own firsthand experience. So I'd love to kind of hear, how did it start? How did you get it? And I'm just going to interject questions as we go along. Is that cool?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. How did it all start?
So, hi guys, my name is Jake. I live in New Jersey, but I go to college in Boston. And they sent us all home from school because of this coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. And nobody really knew how bad it actually was at the time. So I came home right before my spring break, and I was home for about a week before having any sort of symptoms. I did have, a little bit of fatigue and some aches and pains, which I blamed on, the house being cold. Didn't really think anything of it. And then about Sunday night, about dinner time, the 22nd, I believe, I, started complaining about, some more symptoms. I ended up having a fever, started with the fever, and then had a very restless night's sleep. Woke up starting having a lot more intense aches and pains. The fatigue was bad. I was starting to have some throat. It wasn't a cough. I never actually developed a whooping cough or anything like that, but definitely was having tightness in the chest. Actually tried to work out one day, which was not really a good idea. It just was not normal. So we were, supplementing with all of the pure products because that's what we knew. I've been on them for 6 years, the same with my mom. And so that's, what we were trying to go with.
Okay, let me interrupt for a second. So when do you, because I was trying to get this timeline from your mom when she started telling me about your symptoms. So I was trying to figure out, because I know there's people on here, it's supposedly doubling every 3 days or whatever. There's people on here who are like, oh my gosh, my cousin has it. I was in contact. When did it start? So for your best guess, like how long before you started to feel the symptoms do you think you had it? Because I was trying to calculate that when I was talking to your mom. What would you guess?
I'd probably say I got it sometime the weekend before, like probably a full week before I started actually having symptoms. Around the time that I moved out. It Yeah, I
Like a
mean,
full 7 days.
because I mean, there were kids at my school and even teachers who were exposed to it, that I was around, but I was home basically quarantined already for a full 7 days before any serious symptoms started even showing up.
Okay, and so for those that are just jumping on, it started with, I feel like your mom said you started having stomach issues to start. Was that one of the first symptoms for you?
No, the first thing was definitely the fever. I didn't honestly even personally feel like I had a fever, but my mom definitely wanted to check. And so we took out the little thermometer and yeah, basically every 4 hours it felt like that we checked my temperature, and lo and behold, it was, a low grade fever in the low hundreds.
And what was the highest that it went?
Yeah, just about 103.
Yeah. And it was pretty constant, right? For about 5 days from the day it started to the next 5 days, it was pretty constant.
Yeah, it was pretty constant. I took a little bit of Tylenol just to keep the fever at bay. Through the process, especially to help me sleep as well. I mean, with the calcium at night and everything else that we took.
What would you say is the worst thing about the 5-day experience that you had? Like, what was the worst thing about all of it?
Honestly, probably the temperature fluctuations with the stomach pain.
That started Wednesday.
Which the stomach pain did start around Wednesday. It got pretty bad. I mean, yeah, just figuring out the like how to deal with the fever, because I would go from having, slight chills to then, burning up. It never got like out of control, or but it was definitely like something that I could not continue my normal daily activities.
What about like sore throat, runny nose? Did you have all that stuff going on?
Never had a runny nose, never was congested. The only reason I ever would have any like upper stuff was if I got a little lightheaded, if I wasn't, flooding myself with fluids, and it was kind of hard to eat sometimes, but we had, whatever I could get inside me was good. So a chicken nugget here, or a waffle, or a bagel. Fruit was a big lifesaver, because raspberries and blueberries and stuff like that were quick and I could pop in. They were tasty.
Do you have a headache?
Never had a headache. No.
So for those of you just joining, there's a lot of people watching. For those of you just joining, there was a little tightness in your chest. Not lots of coughing, you wouldn't say?
No. The only really thing that I did was clear my throat. I only really had soreness in my throats one of the nights, a lot later on in the whole process, but that didn't really even continue at all. I'd like to think the silver helped a lot with the throat, because my mom was pretty religious about it, with having me do it morning, afternoon, and night after I'd brushed my teeth, so that it could help, as I'm sleeping as well.
So we're going to go kind of through what Jake and his mom did while as soon as they, let's talk about you getting tested and how long that took for you to get the diagnosis, and why we thought you had it, because we know there were people that were close to you that were diagnosed with it. So let's go through that a little bit. You started with the fever, and then how long after that till you guys went in and tried to get tested? I feel like you went in more than once.
Yeah. So it started Sunday night, and we decided to go into the doctor on Tuesday. I went into the doctor. They evaluated me. They said, because the biggest thing is that I wasn't coughing, and because I was low risk technically, that they didn't feel the need to test me. But because I was in Boston, and because I was around all these people who were presumptive positive, they said they would test me if I wanted to, and if my symptoms got any worse. So the next day, on Wednesday, we actually went back and got tested.
So we tested Wednesday, and then you found out this morning, right?
Yeah, this morning. I got a call from the doctor.
5 days later. And then when did your fever, so your fever started Saturday night. When did your fever break?
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Friday night.
Okay, so 5 days. I remember, so for those of you watching that don't know, I'm a physician assistant, and I'm no longer practicing medicine. I let my license go earlier this year, but I practiced for 20 years, and I was doing an extensive amount of research on this. So of course, Jake's mom was calling me through this whole process and concerned about what to do. And so I remember texting his mom at one point and saying, worst case scenario, this will go on until April 9th. Because I was reading that people 23 to 25 days after they get in contact with the virus is when it's finally out of their system. Then lo and behold, like yours breaks after 5 days. And to me, that was crazy. So, kind of we were thinking, well, then maybe he didn't have it, because everybody else seems to have it a really long time. And then your results came in positive this morning. And so let's talk a little bit about what you guys did during this period of time, because I know the whole purpose of me doing this tonight, Jake, thank you for being willing to share your story, is I talked to your mom while this was going on, and she was very scared at times. She probably didn't tell you, but she was scared. Now, if this had happened any other time without some virus going on that shuts down the whole world, we would probably been like, he's fine. We would just move through. But because of what we knew what was going on, and we're hearing these horror stories, she was scared. And so a big part of why we're doing this is to get the word out that there doesn't need to be fear, and that what this looked like for you. And so Jake is a college student. He has been pouring nutritional supplements into his body for the last 6 years. He is an athlete by all counts. He is an avid dancer, an absolute amazing professional dancer. You'll be blown away if you can see what he does. And these kids work, I would say, 6 to 8 hours a day dancing. And so he is healthy. But on top of that, we've heard stories of really healthy people having serious issues. And so he's been pouring some nutritional supplementation into his body. And when I say I walked away from practicing medicine, it's because I'm a bigger believer in putting the right things into your body. So Jake, I would love for you to share a little bit about, while you're at your crazy college world, right? What is it that you're typically consuming? And then what have you been doing over the last 5 days? Mm-hmm. So that people will understand kind of what your mom has been giving you.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that I did have these products at school. I mean, especially like the sports line and everything. It's been wonderful. But I had 2 superfruits at school. I had Goyen and mangosteen, which was something that I even took every single day at home here too. Those were, my rocks. I did immune and the immune 6 and the probiotic every single day in the morning with my energy and sulfur in my little shaker bottle. I would do those like strictly right in the morning as soon as I woke up. So I didn't forget them before I went through my day. I always did daily build, or I tried to as best as I could around lunchtime after I had some food in my stomach.
You made meal matches.
Yes. Whenever I would go to the gym in the mornings, I would always make my Mila matcha smoothie the night before in my little blender that my mom got me. And I would stick them in the fridge. And then after I came back from the gym, I would drink that. Yeah. And then I also had hydrate sticks as well for.
And then did anything change up once you got home and we started kind of getting these symptoms going on? Was there anything that changed?
Yeah. So the biggest thing I think for me is that I started, obviously we doubled up on most of the things that I was already taking, including the mangosteen Goyen, immune 6, and the silver we started to take morning, afternoon, and night. And then also we introduced the noni, which was kind of tough to take at the beginning, but I think I'm very good at it now. You take
Do you feel like the noni did it? I mean, I heard your mom raving about the noni and how she thought it had an impact. Do you think, I mean, it's our worst tasting product. Do you think
I definitely think it's a lifesaver. Especially if I had any stomach or nausea issues, that was the first thing I would reach towards. It is extremely anti-inflammatory, and I think just is one of the reasons why I think I recovered as quickly as I did. So I took about 2 to 3 ounces of that every single day, which is something that I wasn't doing before. And I mean, I always knew, my mom said, like, you should try and take noni, when you're here at home, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I never was the biggest fan of it, obviously, because of the taste. But once you get over the taste, like, you can really do anything in that little of a shot, especially if you drink something right after it. And with the effects that it had, if anyone is even just feeling that they need to do more preventatively, it can save your life with, the respiratory or anything.
Well, I am so thankful that you are fine and good, and we didn't have to wait until April 9th. I have a picture that I was going to share, but I'm not going to share it, but I might post it later, of your mom has wheeled you out onto the front deck for you to get a little sun, and you're all huddled up in the chair, trying to get a little sun up in New Jersey. And so that was a pitiful picture, and I'm so glad to see you happy and smiling and sharing your story, because again, the whole reason that we wanted to get on here today was to give people hope who maybe have recently been diagnosed or who have been tested and think they might have it, or maybe they've been in contact with somebody who does have it. And then also to kind of give them a game plan of exactly what you guys did, so that you know, and maybe even what they can expect. Obviously, some people have different symptoms than what you've had, but you were definitely positive, and you ran the course in 5 days, and now you feel normal again?
Yeah, I feel as normal as I probably possibly can at this point. There's obviously still coming out of it, so the respiratory stuff is gonna take a little bit longer to fully heal, where I can take, yeah, we're still taking everything, we're still doubled up, but I am a singer and I know my deep lungs, so but other than that, I haven't had a fever in a while. I am not coughing. I feel fine. Am I gonna go on a run? No, I'm gonna, we're still quarantined in our house here, but we have been cleaning a lot, spraying a lot of things with skin defense, but still staying on the course with the doubled products and everything. Yeah.
Anything you would like to say maybe to someone who is terrified right now that they might have it? Any last words that you could give them that would help them kind of get through the next week or two?
I would say it's all a mind game too. You have to think and you have to want to get better, and it will happen. Just stay strong. Take care of yourself. I'm very happy that I had my mom here to help me through it. I wouldn't, be able to have done it without her. She was very supportive, very helpful with, getting everything organized for me to take. You can do it. It's okay. You'll get through it. Stay hydrated. Eat as much as you can in small increments, like stay small, eating and drinking throughout the day. I think that was the most important thing for me. If you let it get away from you, you'll just make yourself feel worse. So
Awesome. Well, let's hear some words from your caregiver. I know she had a very stressful week. Thank you, Jake. You're amazing. I'm so glad that you're feeling better. All right, Mom. So again, the reason, why we're doing this. So my goal with bringing you on is how are you feeling? Because you were giving them care for 5, 6, 7 days right there in the midst of it.
Yeah. I'm fine. I feel great. Knock on wood. I'm very blessed and very grateful and thankful to have access to some amazing products to flood our family with. I mean, are we perfect? No. No one's immune to this. Is it scary? Yes. I just know the body's very powerful. And the body has the ability to heal itself if you give it what it needs. And this is just the true testament of, flooding it with plant-based nutrition to, cleanse, balance, and build the body. And was I scared? Yeah, I was definitely scared. And sometimes you watch the news and it freaks you out, and you see what's happening. And, I think people don't realize, you only have one of these, right? And you have to pay attention to what you put in and what you eliminate out. And nobody's perfect. We certainly don't live in a bubble. But thankful for Goyen, for my mindset of my sanity. If I did feel stressed or nervous, I mean, I'm sure I've been exposed, right? And we're quarantined here in the house. And will I get symptoms? I don't know. I've already been doubling up on everything just because, and I think it's wise. And if anyone has things like this in their home, like these pure products, I mean, it can't hurt, right? So it's food and nutrition. Your body can absorb it rapidly. And like Jake said, the small amounts are great because we're getting really great nutrition right into our body in those small amounts. And we're so thankful for that, because what he doesn't know is, yes, I would hide greens in some of his smoothies, and he said I knew it. I would hide extra, sulfur day and night in his hydrate. I definitely added whatever I could extra as I handed him every single sip and every single drink. And, that was a big piece to the puzzle. He probably didn't even know all the extra stuff I was giving him, but I think the noni was a kicker for us. Once we really added that in, it was a game changer. I don't know. I don't have an explanation, but God is good, and it's a powerful food. It's a powerful food, from immune boosting, anti-inflammatory. I mean, so many amazing properties to it. And we're not out of the woods, right? I mean, we are still quarantined here and still doubling up and still hydrating and still taking it one day at a time. But we're so blessed and thankful. We're asymptomatic right now, and I hope we can help somebody and give them some hope and healing with what we have here at Pure.
I know you have a friend that was recently diagnosed, and you dropped the noni off at her house today, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that she had that. So thank you, Melissa, for coming on and sharing. And I think you're going to be just fine. But thank you for coming on and sharing about what you've been through this week. I know it was a rough week. And so now I know you guys can relax and be at peace and be calm. So love you guys. Have a great night. Thank you for taking the time out to share with others. And so you guys, I'm going to end by just, again, I know I've talked, some of you are watching, you're like, I don't even know what they're talking about. If you have more questions about the products, you want to learn more about noni. Noni's been literally used for thousands of years in the volcanic regions of the earth for its nutritional benefits. And so our company basically delivers really high potency nutrition. If you're into nutrition and you look at our nutrition supplement facts, you're going to be blown away by the high quality and the one ingredient products that we have. They're just high potent products, high quality, and you order them in your house in 2 to 3 days. And we are huge believers in them. And so you can go to purelifechangers.com. There's loads of videos on the products page teaching you about I just did a video a week ago on the immune 6, the immune boosting properties of the immune 6, on the silver that they were talking about that Jake said helped with his throat. He used it 3 times a day, on the skin defense and why we're spraying that everywhere. My husband goes out, he's in construction, he's still going to the job. He's spraying it on his face and his nose anytime he walks out of his car. Why are we using these things? Why do I believe that Jake had such a short run of this? And I'm excited that we have something that can give us hope, right? That we don't have to go, 25 days of fever, this is horrible. I don't know what the Pure products will do for you, but I believe with all of my heart exactly what Melissa said. If we get the toxins out and we pour nutrition in, this body's pretty amazing. You can throw a lot of things at it, but if you give it what it needs instead of Oreos and diet soda, you might be pretty shocked at what it can do. And this family is a great testament of what you should be putting into your body. So thanks again to the Urbans for jumping on tonight and sharing their story. I hope this gave some people out there hope. And last but not least, I will say do not need to have a spirit of fear. Do not be afraid. God is in control, and we are going to pull out of this, I believe, stronger than we were before, with a lot of benefits in our pockets. Take care, everybody. God bless, and have a great night. Bye-bye.